A man was thrown from the 40th floor directly. The transfer student was bullied by a group of bullies. After learning the girl was from a rich family, they even grab her headphones and clothes which worth 400,000 won. In the name of borrowing, the transfer girl went to the principal's office to report it. Then the teacher, in front of everyone, asked the bullied girl to stand up. The girl chose to keep silent, because she feared the bully. Although the teacher gathered those who might bully others after class, it was just for show. The bully felt insulted, and she brought more thugs to the classroom. The bully, holding a knife, slowly approached the girl. She kept using a wallpaper knife to scratch her classmates' books on the way. It showed how tough she was. However, when she approached the girl, a boy at the next desk couldn't stand it. He stood up and stopped her. The boy advised her to stop. The bully heard and called him a fake hero. The bully's boyfriend saw his girl being bullied. He stepped in, kicked the boy to the ground, and gave him a beat. After class, Hisu asked the boy why he didn't tell the teacher. The boy thought it wouldn't help to say anything. Besides, everyone accepted these actions. The boy sensed Hisu's sense of injustice. He advised her not to do anything, but Hisu didn't listen to him. The next day, the transfer girl was doused with water. Hisu could no longer tolerate it, so she stood up. Hey! Come out. When the whole school learned that someone dared to resist the bully, they all gathered together. At this moment in the school's backyard, Hisu was being attacked by everyone. Even the bullies punched Shishio with all their might, or even used knives to scratch her. Hisu felt no pain at all. Thanks to her extraordinary physical abilities, Hisu knocked everyone down. Only the bully stood there. The bully approached Hisu with a knife, and directly scratched at her face. However, when she saw Hisu didn't get hurt, the bully was instead frozen in fear. Who are you? Who are you, really? It was from this moment on, Hisu realized she was different from others. Because of this incident, Hisu's father kept apologizing to the leaders at school, and he found the parents of all injured classmates, and paid them a huge amount, then avoided police involvement. In the end, Hisu was still expelled. For them, this was already the best outcome. Only when leaving the school did Hisu's father tell her the truth. It turned out that Hisu's extraordinary physical ability was inherited from her father. After that, Hisu and her father lost their home. After years of hard work, Hisu's father sent her to school again. But what Hisu didn't expect was, on the first day of school, while taking the bus, she met a classmate who could fly, Bang Suk, and the school she attended had more students with special abilities. The boy, Bang Suk, suddenly took off into the air. His mother quickly stepped on a stool and pressed him down. Then she said, Bang Suk, Mom is so tired. Bang Suk was born into a family of superpowers. His innate ability is inherited from his father. His mother also has a super hearing ability. To protect Bang Suk, the woman had to carry him around on her waist all day. Seeing the child had grown so big, and was still tied up so tightly, others all looked at them strangely. It wasn't until the woman rented a warehouse that she began training Bang Suk's powers. Day by day, though Bang Suk could still fly, he could also walk slowly like a normal person. Bang Suk has loved the Flash since he was little. Upon seeing his classmate was popular for imitating the popular pose of Flash, Bang Suk's competitive spirit was stimulated. He reached the heights just like the previous classmate, and jumped several meters. His classmates cheered and applauded. Years later, little Bang Suk grew up. Now he can walk normally. But when he faces emotionally stirring events, he can't control himself. On this day, when Bang Suk took the bus as usual, he scanned his card for a girl named Hisu. After chatting, Bang Suk learned Hisu was the new transfer student today, and she was in the same class with him. Seeing the charming Hisu, Bang Suk quickly recited pi, trying to suppress his emotions. But his body still involuntarily lifted up. It was only when the bus suddenly braked that he avoided revealing his powers. At the airport, a man with an F mark on his back changed into a courier's outfit. He arrived at a building and found a man named J-Man. The man seemed to be a power hunter, tasked with eliminating those with powers. At first, J-Man had the upper hand, but the bearded man used his incredible healing ability. He quickly turned the tables, then threw him down from above. returned to the delivery truck. The man sent a message saying he was eliminated. Soon, news of Jae-man's death hit the papers. Bang-suk's mother also learned of this by phone. She returned to her and took out the gun hidden under the cabinet to reassemble. It seems she's getting ready to come out. On the way to school again, Bang-suk saw Hee-soo running outside. He intended to greet Hee-soo, but he didn't expect her to run all the way to school. They arrived at school almost at the same time. Hee-soo accidentally knocked Bang-suk out. Bang-suk landed on his arm and then floated up. Hee-soo didn't see this scene. The two walked to the classroom. Hee-soo's clothes were soaked in the rain, so she suggested borrowing a coat from Bang-suk. After Bang-suk handed the uniform to Hee-soo, he lost control of his body again, and could only cling tightly to the cabinet to prevent himself from floating up. Hee-soo took the clothes to the bathhouse. At that moment, a gang in the same class followed her. Fortunately, the class monitor arrived in time. The monitor asked what he was doing. The gang didn't answer. He arrogantly slapped the class leader's face and ordered the class leader to follow him. The two walked to the small grove. The gang immediately attacked the class leader. However, the class leader no longer hid his abilities. With just a few punches, he had the gang bleeding. He even broke a tree behind him with a punch. During class, the teacher asked why the gang wasn't there. The class leader said the gang had asked for leave to go home. Meanwhile, the hunter has found a new target again. He arrived at an underground library and directly mentioned Jae-man. Upon hearing Jae-man, the man understood his purpose, so he quickly put his hand on the socket to absorb energy. Then he took the battery from the radio to continue to absorb energy. Meanwhile, on the other side, Guy-do sensed the abnormality through the broadcast signal. Electric Man was full of energy, but he was no match for the Big Beard. The Big Beard turned and kicked Electric Man down. After the man died, the Big Beard took out a half-burned photo. This time, his mission was to eliminate these reclusive superhumans and their children as well. However, these people, in unison, hid their children. The bearded man identified the school where Bang-suk and Hee-soo were from the photo background. It seems these gifted youths hiding in the school are about to be exposed. The death of Electric Man made headlines as an accident, but the man's true cause of death, Bang-suk's mother and Hee-soo's father, as the first-generation gifted, they all know. At dusk, the third target appeared on Big Beard's phone. This time, the target he's going after is codenamed 3. In what seems to be an ordinary high school, there are actually students with extraordinary powers, and these abilities are inherited from their parents. Hee-soo's father runs a fried chicken shop. The monitor's father and Bang-suk's mother both own small shops to make a living. With their powers, they plan to live low-key. However, that changed with the arrival of a hunter who disrupted their peaceful lives. The hunter Frank stepped into the city, directly eliminated 2 supernatural beings. When he was about to take out the third one, he shifted his target to the group of high school students under the care of Bang-suk. Hee-soo's feelings for Bang-suk grow daily. However, the monitor, who also likes Hee-soo, can only secretly watch them from the side. During physical training at the gym, Hee-soo accidentally twisted her ankle. Bang-suk rushed over immediately, but this revealed his special ability. Hee-soo was startled by the scene. She thought she might be mistaken and didn't take it serious. However, while Bang-suk was helping Hee-soo with sit-ups, the feminine scent of Hee-soo made Bang-suk's heart restless. He desperately recited pi to distract himself, but it had no effect. In the end, he flew up in front of Hee-soo. He realized his abilities had been exposed. Bang-suk couldn't care about Hee-soo anymore and flew away from here. After they left, the monitor came down from the second floor. The earlier scenes of Bang-suk taking off were all seen by him. However, he showed no surprise, because he is also a supernatural being. To confirm Bang-suk's abilities, on a rainy day, Hee-soo intentionally let Bang-suk go back for her shoes. and she secretly followed the footprints to the classroom corridor. Hee-soo remembered strange scenes with Bong-suk before, so she couldn't help but shout Bang-suk's name. Upon hearing this, Bang-suk came out with the shoes. They sat in the stairwell. Hee-soo asked directly without beating around the bush. However, Bong-suk did not admit it. Then Hee-soo took the chance and touched his arm. Bang-suk had the strong feeling again. His body uncontrollably flew up. Seeing him take off, Hee-soo was stunned. Bang-suk told Hee-soo to hand him the backpack, but at the moment Hee-soo picked up the backpack, she realized how heavy it was. Hee-soo couldn't lift it at all. With no choice, Hee-soo had to jump up to pull Bong-suk down. You were already wearing your backpack. How did you float up again? Because you're holding me. Please let me go. What they didn't know at the moment was, the surveillance had already recorded their recent actions, but the security guard had no reaction. Bong-suk's current mood couldn't be held back by a backpack. So, Hee-soo had to hold on to him all the way to the doorstep. It was the first time seeing her son come back with a girl. Bang-suk's mother warmly welcomed Hee-soo. Meanwhile, Frank arrived at the salon where his third target was. He pretended to be a customer and got a shampoo. Then, while washing his hair, he kept asking the owner about her daughter. At first, the owner thought Frank was just making small talk. But when she mentioned her daughter's school, she realized something was wrong. She plunged the scissors into Frank's temple, but it had no effect. So, you also have the ability to heal. Then she ran to the room, sniped at Frank through her X-ray vision. Although Frank could heal himself, he still couldn't withstand being shot repeatedly. Next, the boss lady switched from the sniper rifle to a rocket launcher. She intended to deliver the final blow to Frank. Unexpectedly, the opponent dodged. Seizing this opportunity, Frank turned the tide, pushing the boss lady into a corner, and said something like this: "If you have a daughter, she would likely attend your funeral." Once on a performance stage, just because a glove had a hole, an incident of power loss occurred. This scene destroyed all the stage's electrical equipment and frightened the children in the audience to tears. This stage accident caused Guy-do lost his job. When he returned home, he found his mother had passed away at home. At the funeral, Guy-do's father, whom he hadn't seen for years, attended the service. Guy-do inherited his father's ability. The man knew this special ability caused many inconveniences in his son's life, so he always felt guilty. He told Guy-do he has a library. He hoped Guy-do could come by sometime. After that, Guy-do started his job search. But apart from his ability to discharge electricity, he had no other skills. This led him always to fail while job hunting, until one evening, the drunken Guy-do found a bus by the roadside with a dead battery. So he stepped forward and fixed the battery. Lightning, give me strength. The car started. Who on earth are you? I am the Flash. Because of this matter, through a twist of fate, Guy-do became a bus driver. He has been driving for many years. These years as a driver, Guy-do has been happy. He also got to know Bong-suk, a regular bus passenger. He thought life would go on like this forever. Until Frank appeared and killed Guy-do's father. This shattered Guy-do's previously peaceful life. At the funeral, Guy-do saw through the battery taken by his father. He saw Frank's appearance, the one who killed his father. So he returned to work again, seeking revenge for his father, and began his preparations. The transfer student Bile, who was once protected by Hee-soo, also came to their class. They had lunch together during the break. While eating, they encountered the gang who was beaten by the monitor before. Once again, he provoked him. The gang knows the class monitor's ability, so he hopes to provoke the monitor to expose his abilities to the public. However, the gang's provocation had no effect. In the end, the monitor managed to hold back. The scene in the cafeteria reached the ears of the homeroom teacher. This seemingly ordinary homeroom teacher is actually quite extraordinary, because he knows every ability user's identity in this. He also ranked these superpowered individuals. The class monitor is ranked S, while the gang is ranked C. Looking at this situation, this school seems to be quietly supporting some individuals, training the next generation of superpowered individuals. Within the Security Bureau, the deputy is aware of what Frank has been doing lately, and based on their investigation, Frank is not only sent by Country M for a mission, but he is also the 6th-ranked man in the organization. This means that before Frank, there are 5 more powerful hunters. Country M's actions have violated the treaty, so the deputy director notified the secretary to meet with the head of Country M. As to Frank, at that moment, Frank received a new mission target, and this target is Bong Suk's mother, Mi-hyun. Frank arrived at Mi-hyun's pork chop shop. Mi-hyun, a person with extraordinary senses. At the first sight of Frank, she knew he had come prepared. However, Mi-hyun didn't call him out, but treated him as a regular customer. She stepped out of Frank's sight and texted Bong Suk not to come back. What she didn't expect was that Bang Suk's phone was already dead, and he has stepped inside. If you need anything else, just let me know. I'm back. Welcome. In an era of supernatural powers, high school students with powers are everywhere. Powerful hunter Frank, after receiving a new assassination target, he arrived at the pork chop shop run by Mi-hyun. Mi-hyun sensed his identity through her powers. Just then, while she was dodging Frank, Bong Suk surprisingly returned. To avoid involving her son, Mi-hyun had to pretend that Bang Suk was a guest, but the old are still sharp. While Mi-hyun was cooking for her son, Frank took the opportunity to extract information from Bong Suk. Is this your home? Yes. Mi-hyun realized her son's identity was exposed. She tucked the gun in her waist and stepped out. The battle is about to break out. At this moment, Frank received a postponement order from his superiors. It turned out that the deputy minister put pressure on the leaders of Country M. This time, it stopped Frank's actions. They narrowly escaped a crisis. Mi-hyun loudly blamed Bong Suk for his phone shutdown. For a seasoned ability user like him, the decisive battle seemed calm back then. But in reality, it was turbulent beneath the surface. After leaving the pork chop shop, Frank received another assassination mission for Jang Ju-won. Jang Ju-won is Hee-soo's father. However, as he looked down at the mission, he almost collided with a bus driven by Guy-do. That brief contact instantly made Guy-do recognize that Frank was the murderer of his father. So he dismissed the passengers on the bus and hurriedly chased after him. As Frank glanced in the rearview mirror and noticed the bus following him crazily, it was already too late. The two collided on the road. In the end, Frank led Guy-do into a rice field, even if he fell for it. Without caring about anything else, he rushed off the bus and went at him. Who are you? Why? Why did you kill my dad, you bastard? Guy-do is no match for Frank. Just a few punches, Frank knocked Guy-do out. But he didn't kill him. After dealing with Guy-do, Frank went to Hee-soo's father's fried chicken shop. Through the glass, he learned where Jang Ju-won was, so he knocked him down in an alley. Then he kept running over him. After a few attempts, Frank thought the opponent must be dead, so he informed his superior that the task was completed. However, when he arrived at the outskirts, Jang Ju-won suddenly appeared beside him. Like Hee-soo, Jang Ju-won also had a powerful healing ability. Although Frank could heal as well, he was clearly no match for Jang Ju-won. Jang Ju-won overwhelmed Frank with dominance. Frank knew he was no match for his opponent. He kept asking him whether his daughter is studying at Jingyuan High School. Hee-soo is the Achilles heel of Jang Ju-won. So, upon learning that the investigation was so detailed, he punched him a few times, changing Frank's face completely. Before this, Frank had killed 3 special ability users, but he didn't expect to fall at Jang Ju-won. Jang Ju-won burned the documents and the truck. There are 80 days left until graduation. In these 80 days, Hee-soo, Bang Suk, and the monitor are all preparing hard for the exam. The night before the semester test, the gang went alone to the gym. Then he tampered with the screws above. The next day, Hee-soo was doing the high jump test. As she kept hitting, the rack with the tampered screw gradually loosened up. At that moment, the gang was watching from above. While Hee-soo was making her final jump, Han-bil found the dropped screw. Before she could warn, Hee-soo jumped. As the screw fell, the basketball hoop came crashing down. At a critical moment, the monitor and Bong Suk could no longer hide. They directly activated their powers. However, Bong Suk was still slower than a step. Watching the girl he likes was rescued by the class monitor. Bong Suk's mindset changed. Meanwhile, the classmates around him also witnessed the monitor's swift actions. The gang achieved his goals. The news of high schoolers with abilities was spread quickly across the country. Even the authorities deleting videos can't help. The older generation of superpower users certainly knew about this. At this moment, an unsettling feeling filled their hearts. At the dusk, Bang Suk felt unwilling, and he desperately wanted to practice flying. But before long, Mi Hyun appeared here. Seeing his mother, Bang Suk's emotions suppressed for years finally exploded. At the same time, Bang Suk's dad will appear. I could do it too. I could fly too, Mom. I could have saved Hisu. If you weren't controlling me. You ask me why I exercise. You ask me why I don't wear weighted bags. Because maybe I can do it too. Because I might be able to fly faster and higher than I do now. I want to fly, Mom. Do you want to be like your dad too? Mom has never told me about Dad. I've never mentioned my dream to Mom. That dream I often have. Bong Suk. That dream is a memory. Bong Suk. Oh, you're here. Dad. Bong Suk. Dad. Oh, what are you doing here? I scared you? The little boy looked outside through the airplane window. There was something in the clouds. The boy's parents just smiled when they heard. However, outside the window, there really was a man flying rapidly. The man flew up to the cockpit window, seemingly wanting to alert the pilot about something. The pilot realized after listening closely that the man was saying there was a bomb. The man didn't understand whether the pilot heard what he said clearly. He had to draw his gun to force the plane to land. Meanwhile, a mysterious person had already cuffed himself with a bomb to his wrist. Then he pretended to read the newspaper call. The captain saw the man pull out a gun. He had no choice but to lower the plane in preparation for landing. The inertia of the descent caused the man to fall. He finally caught the plane, but through the glass, he saw a suitcase with a bomb. The boy saw the man, and he had no idea what was coming. The man could only watch. The bomb's countdown ended. The man's name was Kim Do-sik, the top agent of the security department. He often worked in the field. Because of a failed mission, the deputy began to suspect him. Before he was to undertake a top-secret mission, to test his thoughts, the deputy sent the intelligence officer, Mi Hyun, to approach him. As an intelligence analyst, Mi Hyun had an exceptional ability to perceive. No unusual thoughts could escape her mind. The deputy valued this secret mission highly, so he asked Mi Hyun to approach Kim Do-sik at all costs. Even beauty. Mi Hyun first learned about information of Kim Do-sik. Then she intentionally created a chance encounter with Kim Do-sik. Mi Hyun has striking looks. When she first appeared before Kim Do-sik, she successfully caught his attention. However, Mi Hyun acted nonchalantly and left. Next, with the deputy director's cooperation, the monthly report was changed to weekly report. This gave Mi Hyun more chances to approach Kim Do-sik. Whenever Kim Do-sik passed by Mi Hyun, he would glance at her. After a few encounters, when he saw Mi Hyun again, Kim Do-sik couldn't help but approach her. However, Mi Hyun was aware of his movements through her senses. She left here in advance, and out of Kim Do-sik's sight. Mi Hyun used her senses again to notice him returning. Mi Hyun smiled. This meant the fish was hooked. The next day, Mi Hyun tried the same tactic. When she sensed he was approaching, Macian bought a cup of coffee. Hello. Hello. We've met a few times, right? Oh, right. We've seen each other while passing by. They introduced themselves to each other. In the days that followed, they gradually became closer. While taking the elevator, Kim Do-sik would even help Mi-hyun with her books. This kind of life didn't last long. During a coffee outing, Kim Do-sik revealed he knew her intentions. Kim Do-sik understood the personality of the deputy. So from the beginning, when Mi-hyun approached him, Kim Do-sik guessed that she was sent by the deputy. Mi-hyun realized she had failed her mission and wanted to leave. At that moment, Kim Do-sik called her, even though he knew Mi-hyun approached him with an intention, but he still fell for her. When I saw your face, I was captivated by you. While they were talking, the assistant brought a bag of videotapes, presenting in front of the deputy. The assistant didn't understand why the deputy asked Mi-hyun to test Kim Do-sik. Kim Do-sik was an elite member of the organization, except for a failed mission years ago. He has not made any mistakes since then. That was not a mission, but his personal action. What? Subordinates just need to follow orders. Why bother saving others? 2 years ago, Mi-hyun participated in a mission. At that time, the organization aimed to uncover a double agent, so they held a dinner. They drugged the tea. Anyone who didn't drink the tea would be marked as it was a one-sided massacre. Mi-hyun was involved too. However, when she saw those who were not unconscious, she hesitated to act. The superior told Mi-hyun to throw a tear gas grenade to see who was playing dead. However, Mi-hyun threw a flashbang instead. At the moment the flashbang exploded, Mi-hyun broke down the door. She freed the surviving spies. To prevent accidents, the organization arranged Falcon for the cleanup in advance. This was to handle such situations. The person codenamed Falcon was actually Kim Do-sik. Like Mi-hyun, he was driven by humanitarianism. They let those people go. The deputy knew they had contact under that circumstance, and they made the same mistake. That's why they arranged for the two to meet. They thought they could keep in touch, secretly behind the deputy director, but they didn't realize that the deputy director had already known all the conversation content during this time. To control his subordinates, the deputy usually used their family as leverage to prevent betrayal. Kim Do-sik has no family. That's why the deputy had Mi-hyun seduce him. Once Kim Do-sik fell for Mi-hyun, the deputy can control him then. At this time, Mi-hyun was unaware. The deputy had already known everything. She arrived at the deputy's office, accidentally seeing cassette tapes scattered everywhere, but she didn't take it to heart. The deputy called her to know her progress with Kim Do-sik. Since they laid their cards on the table, their feelings didn't decrease, they intensified. Kim Do-sik hoped that one day brought Mi-hyun, on a snowy day, to fly above and look down. Mi-hyun thought he was just joking with that statement. Mi-hyun said she not only liked purple, but also was a crazy woman. She felt at ease in front of Kim Do-sik. That's exactly why Kim Do-sik liked Mi-hyun. Do you often casually say the word like? Are you really that kind of person? I wouldn't do this normally, so how were you before? Meticulous, cold, and reserved. So what's happening with you now? You're right in front of me. Mi-hyun still thought he was joking. She can't even tell which words are serious. Mi-hyun mentioned that things are going well for them. At this moment, the deputy asked her if she had discovered Kim Do-sik's secret. Mi-hyun was taken aback. She turned to the deputy and asked what the secret was. The deputy replied that she needed to uncover it herself. As long as she could get closer to Kim Do-sik, she can have a promotion and a raise. One night, during her shift, Mi-hyun sensed someone outside. When she turned back, there was nothing. Kim Do-sik felt playful. After swaying a few times, he finally revealed himself to Mi-hyun. Seeing a man floating by the window, Mi-hyun was startled. From that moment on, she realized that Kim Do-sik had the ability to. After bringing a late-night snack to Mi-hyun, Kim Do-sik left shortly after. Mi-hyun thought about the other day. He had mentioned flying away together. Only then did she realize he was serious. Mi-hyun took off her glasses, using her heightened senses, seeing him miles away. At that moment, Kim Do-sik was grinning foolishly. The next evening, they met again. Mi-hyun told Kim Do-sik her strong psychic ability. She had Kim Do-sik put his hand on his chest, listening to her heartbeat. She tapped on the table to match the heartbeat rhythm, to prove her ability. No. It's beating too fast. If this continues, you could die. Wait, I don't mind dying. As they kissed, Kim Joo-sik started to float. It seems, his son's failure of controlling his superpower around women was followed him. The two confirmed their relationship. That day, the deputy suddenly called in Mi-hyun. He asked if she knew Kim Joo-sik's secret. Mi-hyun hesitated and said she wasn't aware. So the deputy issued the order to end the mission. The sudden end of the task caught Mi-hyun off guard. The assistant asked the deputy director why the task was ending. The deputy director stated he had achieved his goal because he knew Mi-hyun had lied. The conversation between the deputy director and the assistant was overheard by another girl by accident. She secretly shared what she heard to Mi-hyun. Only then did Mi-hyun realize something was wrong. She walked up to the window, using perception, then discovered a deeply hidden camera. It turned out that before Mi-hyun's mission, the deputy had hidden cameras placed all around. During the mission, her conversation with Kim Joo-sik was all overheard by the deputy. The videos Mi-hyun saw earlier were actually recorded from the camera. Mi-hyun could lie for Kim Joo-sik. This meant they have fallen for each other. That's why he ordered to terminate the mission. Mi-hyun confronted the deputy and asked why he did this. The deputy meant that Mi-hyun could return after the mission because she has family, but Kim Joo-sik does not. He might betray the organization at any time. I'm not comfortable assigning this mission to him, so I need to find a reason to ensure his return. The deputy was not only afraid of Kim Joo-sik's betrayal, he also feared Mi-hyun might take action. So when she left, he mentioned details about Mi-hyun's father. It was a subtle reminder to Mi-hyun to remind her not to act out of line. That night, the deputy dispatched Kim Joo-sik for a secret mission. Before the mission, Kim Joo-sik only glanced at Mi-hyun from afar. He didn't approach her. Meanwhile, Mi-hyun kept waiting for him to show up. She visited all the places they had been together, but she hadn't seen him. This situation lasted for over 10 days, until an emergency occurred. 15 days before the North-South Korea summit, North Korean leader suddenly died of a heart attack. The deputy was furious upon hearing the news. He had sent Kim Joo-sik to carry out the assassination. Now the target has died of illness. He suspected Kim Joo-sik acted alone. The severity of the situation exceeded the deputy's expectations. Kim Joo-sik held all the information for this operation. They needed to know what Kim Joo-sik did in North Korea. At the same time, Kim Joo-sik represented the organization. His words directly determined the organization's fate, so they must bring him back immediately. Because of this, Kim Joo-sik has become the enemy of the organization. Meanwhile, Mi-hyun was being monitored by the deputy. This summer has been routinely hot. Everyone was waiting for the rain to cool down. Only Mi-hyun often looked at the sky, waiting for someone to return. As time passed, Mi-hyun doubted her place in his heart. Just as she was lost in thought, a figure appeared in the lightning. She hurried forward. Why are you here? What brought you here? I feel like I might die. He can't come back. He will be in danger. But all the jokes he made were serious. He said he rarely interacted with others, although he felt unfamiliar with many things. He was serious. All the jokes he made to me were serious. He has a knife in his back, yet he washes his face without a care. Then he pulls out the long knife stuck in his abdomen. Blood is everywhere, yet he is completely unharmed. The man is named Jang Joo-won, known as a monster. He was born with extraordinary regenerative abilities. No matter how many injuries he sustains, he instantly heals. Due to his unusual physique, he chose to join the underworld as a thug. With his strong physique, he fight for Bros on the front lines. During a turf war, Jang Joo-won was assigned by his boss to find Glasses Guy to sign the transfer agreement. At first, Glasses Guy looked disdainful. He even said he would have to take out his guts to let him know he wouldn't sign it. When Jang Joo-won heard his words, he immediately fulfilled his wish. Let me see. Where's my courage? Is it here? Are you human? What's your background? Although the man in glasses signed the agreement, his calm expression suggested things weren't that simple. The next day, he went to the bar as usual, but unexpectedly, he ran into his boss. who was toasting the man in glasses. Jang Ju-won was caught off guard. He asked what was going on. He saw the glasses guy called out his boss's name, and even wanted to hit him, but his boss quickly stopped him. The boss and Jang Ju-won's loyal sidekick, Minky, treated him to a meal. Only then did Jang Ju-won realize the document they signed wasn't a transfer agreement, but a merger agreement. The businesses under the glasses guy are everywhere. That's why the boss thought about merging. Everything is for money. From this moment on, Jang Ju-won felt doubts about his admired boss. Once again, he visited the bar. What he didn't expect was that his little brother Minky had become the manager, and from his words and actions, he no longer had any respect for him. Jang Ju-won said nothing and just left. Time passed without him knowing. He ran into some enemies at the bar. Seeing him still confused with the situation after such a long time, everyone mocked him as a fool. He didn't even realize he's been abandoned. He only realized it when he entered the hall. Minky and the boss are now on friendly terms with the glasses. The glasses guy gave him one last chance. As long as Jang Ju-won calls him Big Brother, he'll let him join his organization too. But Jang Ju-won knows many of his brothers are in trouble because of him. They're still in the hospital now, so he can't agree. Have you forgotten how many brothers were beaten into the hospital by that guy, just to be family with Big Brother? That compensation is hardly worth mentioning. Stop calling him Big Brother. So what if I call him Big Brother? I can call him that 100 times. How can you say that? I can't do it. Did you forget he sent his henchmen to hurt me? I took the hits for you. From Pohong to Ulsan, did you know how many hits I took? Come on. You can't even feel pain. Anyway, you're a monster. What the brother said truly hurt Jang Ju-won. As the peacemaker, the little gang invited Jang Ju-won and the brother to dinner. After a few drinks, both the brother and Jang Ju-won felt unwell. Soon after, they passed out. When he woke up again, he found himself and the brother tied up in a car. The glasses man and his buddy were still together. Jang Ju-won realized he was betrayed by Minky. Just before he was pushed into the water, the glasses man revealed some things he didn't know. It turned out the brother he trusted was using him all along. He was the one who provoked the glasses man first. Only later did he propose the merger. Jang Ju-won had always been treated as a mere shield. Upon learning the truth, Jang Ju-won cried out in anguish. In the end, the glasses man pushed him into the water. He sank to the bottom. Trying to survive, he broke his own finger and then escaped the handcuff. Before leaving, he glanced at his brother. Then he swam up. Having survived a near-death experience, he tortured the glasses man to death while handcuffed. Faced with Minky's incessant pleas, Jang Ju-won did not let him go. Don't do this, brother. Bro, don't do this, bro. Six months later, Jang Ju-won stayed in a hotel. Out of work, he needed to pay rent by scamming for money. One evening, Jang Ju-won accidentally saw a fight in the next room. The girl selling coffee, Ji-hee, due to the guests' bizarre demands, chose to refuse service. Jang Ju-won thought he was just witnessing a normal accident. Little did he know that the girl selling coffee would later become intricately connected to him. By chance one day, the two accidentally collided. Ji-hee's coffee tools fell everywhere, and it was because of this encounter Ji-hee had a slight impression of Ji-hee. Jang Ju-won was scamming people as usual, but unexpectedly, the wrecker drove away. While he was chasing him, he ran into Ji-hee on an electric bike. Realizing he couldn't catch up, he wanted to turn back. Maybe it was a side effect of his strong physique. Jang Ju-won often got lost. He asked Ji-hee how to get back to the hotel. However, Ji-hee said a lot. After they separated, Ji-hee wanted to go back as Ji-hee suggested, but after walking for a long time, he still couldn't find the right path, until he met Ji-hee again on the way back. In an instant, Jang Ju-won cried. Seeing such a big person, cried just because he couldn't find the way. Ji-hee smiled. At the same time, Jang Ju-won's impression was deeply buried in her heart. In the end, Ji-hee took him back to the inn. Meanwhile, on the other side, the deputy of the organization where Kim Do-sik was, after learning there were monsters here, he found Minky, and made a promise to him, as long as he could mobilize all members to find the monster. Then during the next crackdown on crime, he would exclude his area of responsibility. Since the last time he got lost and was taken home by Ji-hee, he started to develop feelings for Ji-hee. He hoped to have more interactions with Ji-hee by ordering coffee. However, each time he finished a call, eagerly waiting for her, the person who showed up was never who he wanted. It wasn't until his last order that he finally met Ji-hee. Ji-hee thought he was like the other customers, who chose her with ulterior motives. However, Jang Ju-won has been chatting with Ji-hee about martial arts novels and wrestling. Ji-hee likes strong people, like Hulk, even if he is a monster, as long as he is good. This remark from Ji-hee was accidental, and it struck a chord with Jang Ju-won. And Jang Ju-won is exactly the kind of person Ji-hee meant. Jang Ju-won's uniqueness deeply embedded in Ji-hee's mind. For some time after that, Jang Ju-won kept placing orders with the money from scams to chat with Ji-hee. However, this peaceful time didn't last long. One day, Jang Ju-won returned home, passing room 403. He heard Ji-hee's voice calling for help. At that moment, Ji was fighting desperately against 4 men inside. Among the 4 men, one of them is the person who argued with Ji-hee last time. Just as they were about to fight, an astonishing noise came from next door. After it quieted down, they realized someone was banging against the wall next door. What's happening? What's going on? What is this? What the heck is this? She said she would kill you. Who is that? What the hell is this? Hulk. Jang Ju-won charged in like Hulk. In this moment, he showed incredible strength in front of Ji-hee. Ji-hee went to the hospital. Jang Ju-won locked up the 4 men. At the dusk, an accident occurred. The defeated man sneaked away. By the time Jang Ju-won heard the strange noise outside, it was too late. The escapee already told Minky Jang Ju-won's place, who has been searching for him. Facing the sea of people strategy, Jang Ju-won, relying on his strong recovery ability, defeated everyone. But this wasn't over yet. Once the underling of the glasses guy, he came out again with a group. Jang Ju-won was overpowered and thrown out the window. After getting up, he saw his former little brother, Minky. Another group of people chased after. Jang Ju-won had to give up killing Minky and flee temporarily. Minky thus escaped a disaster. At this moment, the deputy appeared beside. He felt this was not enough. He must push Jang Ju-won to the brink. Only then can he observe whether his ability meet his standards or not. On the other side, the discharged Ji-hee tried to call Jang Ju-won, but no one answered. At that moment, a colleague walked in. He mentioned where Jang Ju-won lived. It was all news about the police. Ji-hee sensed something was wrong, so she ran over. Though Jang Ju-won was strong, he could only escape. He could recover, but still felt pain. Yet no matter how he tried to escape, enemies always appeared from all sides. These scenes were witnessed by the deputy. To ensure the capability of Jang Ju-won, he ordered Kim Do-sik to investigate. You only need to watch until the end. If he isn't a monster, then he's dead. After all, he is of no use. Fleeing Jang Ju-won collided with the arriving Ji-hee. Seeing he didn't sit on her bike, Ji-hee directly used some tough tactics. I'm his girlfriend. Get that woman too. Now he had no choice but to sit her back. He told Ji-hee that he's not a good person and has killed before. While saying this, he also loosened his grip on her. However, Ji-hee stopped him. You must have your reasons. They thought they had escaped from those people, but unexpectedly, they ran into them at the intersection. The two were knocked away. Jang Ju-won adjusted his body in the air. Ji-hee is fine but fainted. The woman he liked ended up like this. Jang Ju-won, filled with anger, charged forward. He was crushed under the car. Minky stepped forward to mock. Just as he prepared to shoot Jang Ju-won with a spear gun, Kim Do-sik shot him dead. Another 6 months passed. The abilities of Jang Ju-won were recognized by the deputy director cleared his past and incorporated him into the organization. He became a colleague of Kim Do-sik. In the cafe, Jang Ju-won appeared before Ji-hee. Finally, she met the man she wanted to see. Ji-hee smiled. I thought you got lost again. You're hopeless with directions, yet you found the right place. I still can't find the way. I came to find you. That's really romantic. Ji-hee from 6 months ago, while chatting with the old man in bed, once said that, I have stories to share too. It's a story about fighting. But it's also a love story. Love? She said it's a love story. I met a man. We first met on the street. But he was crying, like a fool. The boy saw a butterfly fly into the room. He chased it all the way to the window. When his father found him, the boy nearly flew off the planet. Oh, what are you doing here? You scared me. Since joining the organization, Jang Ji-won became partners with Kim Do-sik. Every time they had a mission, Kim Do-sik would deliberately throw Jang Ji-won from a kilometer high. Jang Ji-won fought on the ground to draw fire. Kim Do-sik assisted from the air. With such cooperation, the two risked their lives to complete tasks for the organization. They became best friends as a result. Until Kim Do-sik met Mi-hyun. He was assigned one last mission by the deputy. He was considered a traitor to the organization. Something happened to Kim Do-sik. The deputy immediately decided to use Mi-hyun's father. He threatened her to cooperate with the organization to capture Kim Do-sik. Meanwhile, Jang Ju-won believed that Kim Do-sik had his reasons. Kim Do-sik returned to Mi-hyun. He intended to resist and leave with Mi-hyun. However, he found the gun in his pocket, ended up in Mi-hyun's hands. Looking at the one he loved, pointing a gun at him, Kim Do-sik, who wanted to struggle, instantly stopped resisting. Kim Do-sik was brought to the deputy. In response to the deputy's questions, Kim Do-sik didn't answer. Instead, he let his actions speak. Kim Do-sik, using his super speed, snatched a sidearm from one of the subordinates. The deputy's eye was shot. After handling everyone, he took the deputy hostage. Then he took him up to the sky, calling out Mi-hyun's name. He could have just vanished. He returned for me. If he had vanished, everyone would come looking for me. He would risk everything to return. It's all for me. 4. Denying our relationship in front of so many people. Lee Mi-hyun. Moments of the two were flashing before their eyes. Kim Do-sik shot at Mi-hyun, but he was stopped by Jang Ju-won. Actually, this was all planned by Kim Do-sik. Just before being captured, he deliberately handed his gun to Mi-hyun. Let Mi-hyun act against him. Then he left his knife on the ground. He wanted Mi-hyun to take the knife to confront Jang Ju-won. Jang Ju-won knew the importance of this dagger to Kim Do-sik, so when he saw it, he would definitely help. Before meeting with the deputy director, Kim Do-sik intentionally sent Jang Ju-won for a coffee. The goal was to have Mi-hyun find him at the coffee machine. Jin Do-ji planned everything. Shooting at Mi-hyun in public also sent a message to everyone. He had no relation to Mi-hyun. Everything is to protect Mi-hyun from being implicated. Jin Do-shik had escaped, and no one knew where he went. By the time the deputy was found, it was already the next day. At that time, he was hanging from a big tree. Such an incident has occurred. It's unable to explain anything to the Blue House. The deputy was demoted. The absolute power of the National Security Agency was also reduced because of this incident. The brutal era is over. Until Mi-hyun's father passed away, Mi-hyun managed to leave the organization. She found a new job. From that day on, she often stared at the sky in a daze. Mi-hyun always felt Kim Do-sik would suddenly appear one day. Her colleagues invited her to have coffee, but Mi-hyun said she only liked the taste of coffee from the vending machine, rather than saying what she liked was the taste of coffee from the vending machine. Perhaps what she likes are the days spent with Kim Do-sik drinking coffee together. Days passed by one after another. The former security department was renamed to the Intelligence Bureau. It started to snow heavily. Mi-hyun walked home alone. Suddenly, Mi-hyun heard footsteps behind her. I kept looking at this, but you came walking. Do you remember? I said that when it snowed, I want to take you to see the snowy world from the sky. Take me to see it. They had the fruits of their love. Bang-suk was born. The couple moved to the countryside to farm. When little Bang-suk was over 200 days old, the couple suddenly saw the image of little Bang-suk flying in the air. At that moment, they finally realized little Bang-suk inherited Kim Do-sik's abilities. Some time passed. The former deputy returned to the Intelligence Bureau. After his return, the first thing he did was to send someone to find Kim Do-sik. Shortly after little Bang-suk soaring to 10,000 meters unintentionally, a man arrived here. He claimed he wanted to buy some fruit. Kim Do-sik thought he was just an ordinary vendor. Unexpectedly, he was the one sent by the deputy. That night, Mi-hyun's super-enhanced senses sensed someone intruding. We are surrounded. Kim Do-sik instructed Mi-hyun to take Bang-suk and leave. He went to draw the fire away. Before parting, Kim Do-sik assured Mi-hyun he would return. Kim Do-sik stepped in front of everyone. Then, he attracted some of them to chase after him. A small part was to capture Mi-hyun. Mi-hyun hid on the roof and wasn't noticed. Kim Do-sik was caught by several other special ability users. As he flew into the air, a rope wrapped around his leg. Those capturing Mi-hyun received orders and left this place. Kim Do-sik in midair saw the opportunity. He whispered, "It's now." Mi-hyun, using her senses to hear him, carefully drove away from here. Kim Do-sik returned to the ground and left with them. Mi-hyun began her escape. As she was about to get in the car, the man who went to her house to buy fruit before showed up here. At this moment, Mi-hyun was unaware she was being followed. "A grenade is coming." The man jumped forward. He didn't hurt. The scar on his face is visibly healing. This was a task that Jang Ju-won had when he came back at the organization again. Kim Do-sik left, leaving Jang Ju-won alone. The security department was disbanded. The black team was dissolved. Jang Ju-won lost his job. He had to become an office clerk. The company assigned him an apartment. He lives here with Ji-hee. Jang Ju-won, used to a life of violence, now working at a computer, feels strange to him. He doesn't know what purpose his life serves. Ji-hee interrupted him, closing his mouth. "You are my reason for existence. And I am your reason for being." "You're crying again, you big crybaby. We have a place to live in each other's company. We can have barbecue once a month, and anyway, this is enough for me." Jang Ju-won decided to resign. He wanted to know how to renew if the company apartment lease expires. A colleague said a work certificate is required. His words made Jang Ju-won reconsider his resignation. He endured it day by day. During the day, Jang Ju-won works while Ji-hee stays home. She wants a child, but she hasn't been able to conceive several times. One evening, because of the computer crash, Jang Ju-won, who was working overtime, met the deputy director looking for him. The deputy director said Jang Ju-won didn't belong here. He can give Jang Ju-won another chance. A chance to live like before. Under the deputy director's verbal attack, Jang Ju-won wavered. Commissioned by the deputy, Jang Ju-won temporarily joined the local forces. This operation is to confirm if there are superhumans in North Korea. They searched for 49 days, but found no trace of the end. For these 49 days, Ji-hee has been home alone, waiting for Jang Ju-won. She didn't know when Jang Ju-won could return. One evening, the search team found a man. They discovered upon getting closer, this man was the one who leaked the information of Kim Do-sik. The man told Jang Ju-won, the deputy has plans to revive the Black Squad, so he is recruiting abilities widely. Although he has no ability, He is great at finding talents. There's no one he can't find. So the deputy brought him on board. With the man's involvement, the team found the trace of the North Koreans the next day. The man suggested that Jang Ju-won not get involved yet, as they wanted to secure a position in the upcoming organization. They needed to achieve results. If they acted when the team was about to be destroyed, it would only show off how strong they were. The man's words angered Jang Ju-won. When he found the team has fallen into an ambush. Fortunately, Jang Ju-won has strong healing abilities. He eased the crisis. Just when they thought it was over, a North Korean ability user appeared. A man in red caused a landslide. The landslide crushed the team. Jang Ju-won struggled to reach the summit, but he was attacked by the enemy's ability user. The opponent had incredible speed. Even if Jang Ju-won has strong recovery abilities, he is not his opponent. The man in red threw Jang Ju-won down, who had just climbed up. Then he left. Although the operation failed, the presence of superhumans in North Korea was confirmed. The organization found a reason to rebuild. Deputy ordered Jang Ju-won to be the new captain of the Black Squad. Along with him, there are a few new members. Jang Ju-won's return didn't bring joy to Ji-hee, because he is always on business trips, until one day, Ji-hee finally couldn't hold back and voiced her thoughts. Before Jang Ju-won left, she mentioned that today is the day they have barbecue once a month. Jang Ju-won didn't realize today was special. However, Ji-hee said barbecue can be enjoyed anytime, but eating it once a month because this day is her ovulation period. Ji-hee wants a child but can't get pregnant. She doesn't dare to tell Jang Ju-won. Because of her unusual profession, she fears it's her fault for not getting pregnant. Why didn't you say it earlier? I am afraid to tell you, because I feel like it's my problem. Do you forget where we met and how? Because I used to live that kind of life. I think the problem might be me. Just once, they had a daughter, even though Jang Ju-won still went out on business as usual, but having a daughter gave him hope. However, this comfortable life didn't last long. Before one mission, Jang Ju-won received a call. Ji-hee and his daughter, Hee-soo, had a car accident. Hee-soo died on the spot. Because of inheriting the recovery ability of Jang Ju-won, Hee-soo was not serious. Jang Ju-won arrived at Ji-hee's funeral. At that moment, he cried out like a child. I'm here. Don't worry. I will take good care of Hee-soo. The reason of adults with super abilities leaving the organization is finally revealed. The timeline is also about to return to modern times. Kong Hoon's father, Lee Jae-man, is an ability user with super speed movement, great strength. Even though he has abilities, he's not very smart. He has a congenital disease. He and his wife make a living by selling goods at a stall. Once, he clashed with the vendor next door. The vendor was severely injured. Thanks to his wife's strong advice, the situation was not worse. Lee Jae-man was taken away. On the day he was imprisoned, Kong Hoon was still a toddler. After serving his sentence, Kong Hoon was already in elementary school, because he had never met his father. So when Lee Jae-man appeared as a father, in front of Kong Hoon felt very awkward. To mend the feelings he owed Kong Hoon, Lee Jae-man sent him to and picked him up after school every day. Kong Hoon finally accepted his father, even though their relationship warmed a bit. But because his father wasn't around when he was young, Kong Hoon still feared being alone at home. After Ji-hee died, to prevent further accidents with Ji-hee, Jang Ju-won approached the deputy to submit a request to transfer to an administrative position. The deputy minister heard that Ji-hee survived. He showed no signs of objection. Instead, he agreed to Jang Ju-won's request. Although he agreed to Jang Ju-won's request, he still wanted Jang Ju-won to be on standby. After all, If the organization faced tricky issues, they still need monsters like Jang Ju-won to step in. Jang Ju-won is just like Lee Jae-man. Both are trying hard to care for their children. However, the simple and easy life didn't last long. An accident brought Jang Ju-won and Lee Jae-man together. Because the city of Seoul must forcibly demolish some buildings, a number of vendors led by Lee Jae-man's wife protested against the police. The wife knew Lee Jae-man wasn't very bright and had a criminal record, so she didn't let Lee Jae-man get involved. Instead, she asked him to pick up Kong-hoon from school. The wife assured him she will definitely return home safely. However, an accident still happened. The resistance continued until evening. The situation was spiraling out of control. At this moment, a group of unknown thugs suddenly surged into the crowd, driving the resistors back. After picking Kong-hoon up, Lee Jae-man was still waiting for his wife to come home. With a bad feeling in his heart, he told Kong-hoon he needed to check on his mom. Before leaving, he repeatedly assured Kong-hoon that he would definitely be home by 10. Dad will definitely keep my promise. Really? I will come back before you sleep. Okay, I will keep my word. Alright, it started to rain heavily. This suggested the upcoming events won't be simple. When Lee Jae-man arrived at the riot scene, the police were taking away the protesters. Lee Jae-man saw not far away. His wife was about to be taken away. In an instant, his wife saw him too. She shouted loudly, "Don't come near," but her actions directly led the police to forcibly take her away. Lee Jae-man was filled with rage. He unleashed his terrifying powers. His strong powers pushed the police back. The situation was out of control. The police reported the matter to the deputy director of the security department. After learning, the deputy contacted Jang Ju-won and spoke about the discovery of the monster. When Jang Ju-won arrived, Lee Jae-man had already hidden in the sewer. Soon after, Lee Jae-man was found. Upon realizing that the person in front was here to catch him, he attacked Jang Ju-won. Jang Ju-won was strong in recovery, but could not do anything. Lee Jae-man, with incredible speed and strength, beat Jang Ju-won back steadily. In the end, he used handcuffs forcibly to subdue Lee Jae-man. In close combat, Jang Ju-won was nearly invincible. Lee Jae-man was knocked unconsciously. As he was leaving, Jang Ju-won heard a child calling for help. Following the voice, he discovered a child was swept away by the flood, but the child was separated from him by a wall. Jang Ju-won could only keep pounding the wall with his fists. At that moment, Lee Jae-man was fully awake. He did the same action as Jang Ju-won. When the deputy saw Jang Ju-won returning alone, the deputy asked reasons. Jang Ju-won said he must have gone home. What? He said he made a promise the child to return. So you just let him go? Yes. Jang Ju-won arrived at Lee Jae-man's house with the deputy. The deputy had learned from the police earlier that Lee Jae-man is of low intelligence. Now seeing him like this, he immediately lost interest in him. However, just as the deputy was about to leave, an unexpected event occurred. Lee Jae-man. It's not Lee Jae-man. It's that kid. Dad, I hate those people. It was that kid who did it. Yes. Can abilities be inherited too? The deputy discovered the secret of ability inheritance. Jang Ju-won has a bad feeling. At that moment, the deputy said to him, "You handle it well." Jang Ju-won returned. The first thing was to tidy up everything. After erasing all traces, taking his daughter Hee-soo, went to a place unknown to anyone. This was also why Jang Ju-won left the organization. The storyline finally returned to the present. It went back to the day when everyone discovered Kong-hoon's powers. However, after Jang Ju-won and Mi Hyun's further investigation, they discovered something extremely horrifying. That is, when they thought they were hiding well, little did they know it was all part of the deputy's scheme. Even the school their children attend was specifically established by the deputy for their descendants. Hand reaches into hot oil. It instantly restores to original. The best episode of the Superpower Clan is here. Led by Jang Ju-won, the school their children attend was established by the deputy director intentionally. Everything is part of the deputy director's scheme. Jang Ju-won's disappearance surprised the deputy director. At the same time, this further confirms that powers can be inherited. The man who specializes in gathering information is actually the spy disguised as the principal. He revealed that after the accident, Hee-soo recovered completely in just a week. In his view, the accident involving Hee-soo and her mother had a survival chance of 0 because he was the one who caused it. He brought plans regarding the school's establishment. For the deputy, Kong-hoon is already under their control. If they also include Jang Ju-won and Kim Do-sik's children into the same school, nurturing them from a young age. During this process, they can find more gifted children with super abilities. As long as a school is established, one day in the future, the children will replace the adults, so they must prepare in advance to control the future. The principal shared his thoughts. The deputy director approved it without hesitation after hearing. This is why many gifted children gather in the same school. The school that Hee-soo and others attend, from the principal to the guard, is filled with the deputy's people. The news of Kong-hoon's abilities was spread online. After seeing this, Jang Ju-won and Mi-hyun lost their usual, and from this moment, the school made them feel different. Hee-soo asked if Kong-hoon was an ability used. Kong-hoon didn't answer. Before Kong-hoon entered high school, the principal approached Kong-hoon first. He used Kong-hoon's father as leverage, forcing Kong-hoon to attend his. So Kyung-hoon knew from early on. The principal was from the intelligence agency. In class, due to the incident involving Kong-hoon's abilities, the school has temporarily cancelled evening studies. The homeroom teacher spoke with Hee-soo privately. He told her if she wanted to continue training, she could go to another place. Leaving the office, Hee-soo encountered the gang who caused the incident at the stadium. The gang warned Hee-soo not to trust anyone. Hee-soo found Bang-suk and went home with him. What they didn't know was, a mysterious person was watching them. Meanwhile, Mi-hyun and Jang Ju-won also started to take action. Both planned to go to the school for an investigation. Hee-soo and Bang-suk got on the bus. The driver was Guy-do, who had lightning powers. After they swiped their cards, the man following them also approached. The man looked fierce. He was silent and stared straight at Hee-soo and Bang-suk. Guy-do witnessed this scene. The man sat behind them. Their photo appeared prominently on his phone. At the same time, Mi-hyun arrived at the school. She went in under the pretext of meeting the homeroom teacher. She called Bang-suk and urged him to wait at home, but Bang-suk didn't take it seriously. He planned to train with Hee-soo at the training ground. Shortly after Bang-suk hung up the phone, Hee-soo then received a call from her father. Jang Ju-won was just like Mi-hyun, told she shouldn't go anywhere today, and went home directly. At this moment, Jang Ju-won also arrived at school. As soon as he entered the school, he met the PE teacher. The PE teacher wanted Jang Ju-won to leave, but Jang Ju-won stayed. As a student's parent, while they were talking, the security guard actually locked the school gate. It seems tonight, they don't intend to let Jang Ju-won and Mi-hyun leave. What others didn't expect was, Kong-hoon secretly stayed at school to study alone. When Kong-hoon's father learned his son was in trouble, what should he do? After parting with Jang Ju-won, the PE teacher immediately went to a classroom and revealed dense surveillance that was hidden behind, watching every move of Jang Ju-won. Maesian was talking to the homeroom teacher. After chatting, she noticed something odd about the teacher, because she never said she was Bang-suk's mother, but the teacher knew her identity. This indicates the teacher knew Mi-hyun's identity all along. Meanwhile, Mi-hyun, using her enhanced senses, found the pinhole camera hidden in the ceiling. Behind this pinhole camera was the PE teacher. The PE teacher suddenly shivered when he felt Mi-hyun looking at him. When he came to his senses, he found no trace of Jang Ju-won. Where did he go? Wait. Who are you? Outside the school, a group of mysterious people received orders. Are we going to eliminate everyone from that school? Do I even need to say yes? Fine, taking out the adults is enough. What about the kids? On the bus, through observation, Guy-do noticed something odd about the man. The man following Hee-soo and Bang-suk was ready to get off with them. The bus didn't stop when it reached the station. Instead, it sped away. As the vehicle sped along, all the passengers swayed wildly. But there was one exception. That is, The teacher reached his hand under the desk and asked a girl how many fingers he could stretch out. The girl, hearing this, stared at the desk and said, "You didn't stretch out your fingers." The homeroom teacher, Choi Tu-won, is a key member of the black group from the security department. The deputy sent him to Shangyuan High School, in the identity of homeroom teacher, to gather information on the students' abilities and organize it into files. Besides the girl who could see through things before, Choi Tu-won was once also Guy Do's teacher. By a chance, Choi Il-won discovered Guy Do's body could emit lightning like the Flash. To confirm further, he even trained Guy Do for a while. However, after a series of observations, Guy Do's abilities didn't showcase much talent. To force out the potential abilities hidden inside Guy Do, the principal ignored Choi Il-won's objections and directly hired some thugs to beat him up severely, hoping to see his burst of potential in despair. But the result was disappointing. Eventually, Choi Il-won suggested Guy Do pursue a career in the arts. Since the principal insisted on his decision despite Choi Il-won's disapproval, he started to feel resistant. Until later, the girl who could see through things suddenly passed away due to illness. Choi Il-won has completely changed. As a teacher, he didn't even know when his students were sick. This made him feel very guilty. From then on, besides carrying out his duties, Choi Il-won became a more responsible teacher. The principal noticed Choi Il-won's change, so he sent Jo Yoon Sung-wook as a co-advisor to supervise Choi Il-won at school. Back to the present, Yoon Sung-wook found Jang Ju-won was slowly approaching him in the monitor. This made him feel uneasy. Just then, a sound came from the door. Jang Ju-won ran into Mi-hyun talking to Choi Tu-won. Mi-hyun stood up to leave upon seeing Jang Ju-won. Before leaving, she made a call using her prepared phone and hid it. She walked to Jang Ju-won and reminded him there were cameras. Mi-hyun went outside. Through the glass, she saw the power room on the first floor. Just as she was about to turn off the power, Yoon Sung-wook's door was knocked. The monitor showed it was a cleaning lady. She shouted about cleaning the room. Yoon Sung-wook had no choice but to restore the room and walk over to open the door. However, the moment he opened the door, he met a tragic end at the hands of the cleaning lady. "That's really thank you." The lady who appeared to be just a cleaner was actually a trained member of North Korea's security. The cleaning lady took over Yoon Sung-wook's role and started checking the surveillance. Through the surveillance, she found that the ones still in the school were Choi Il-won, Jang Ju-won, Mi-hyun, Kong Hoon and the gang Ki-soo. When Jang Ju-won was talking to Choi Il-won, he revealed his purpose for being there. He knows Choi Il-won was not a bad person. Otherwise, he wouldn't know about the hidden camera in his office. When Jang Ju-won said this, the cleaning lady was eavesdropping. "You might have to come in. One is in the corridor on the first floor of this building. 2 are in guidance room on the 4th floor of this building. 1 is in teacher's office on the 2nd floor of this building. 1 is in study room on the 3rd floor of the annex." Mi-hyun, using her sharp senses, heard the cleaning lady's conversation, so she changed her route. She gradually walked towards the cleaning lady's room. "Who are you?" "I am a parent of a student. Is the principal here?" "He has left." "You're still working so late?" "I need to clean these trophies spotless." along with the cleaning lady, a few other superpowered members of the North Korean defense team, after hearing from the cleaning lady, also took actions. Their only goal this time was to find the superpower files of Shangyuan high school students and eliminate all Korean superpower members. The battle is about to begin. The superpower clan is finally facing the final showdown. Not only the adults are facing the final battle, the children with powers will also fully awaken their abilities. Gaidu noticed something unusual on the bus, so he activated his powers to step on the gas and drive towards the police station. However, when everyone got off the bus, Gaidu did not see Bong-suk and Hee-soo. Bong-suk and Hee-soo had already left the bus when it stopped at the police station. To avoid being discovered by their parents, they left the scene first and arrived at the stadium that Choi Choo-won told them. The two walked to the center of the stadium. Hee-soo got ready to train. Bang-suk went to buy her a drink. However, Bong-suk just stepped out of the gym. The security team members appeared, who was following them all the way. The man slowly landed behind Hee-soo to test Hee-soo's abilities. Without a word, he took action. When Bong-suk returned, he found the door wouldn't open. Bang-suk used his heightened senses to hear Hee-soo scream. Hee-soo was relentlessly tormented by the man. After several rounds of physical tests, he discovered Hee-soo's ability was recovery, so he took Hee-soo to the sky and said, "Confirm for the last time." At the same time, Bang-suk ran outside wildly. After shedding his burden, he looked up. At that moment, Bang-suk remembered a line his mother Mi-hyun once said. "Your father said, flying well is just about landing well. So son, when you really want to fly, don't be afraid of falling." Hee-soo. The moment Bang-suk rushed in, Hee-soo was thrown to the ground by the man. Bang-suk could control the flight finally, like his father, Kim Do-sik. Meanwhile, Mi-hyun locked the door and asked the janitor about her identity. The janitor didn't reply. Instead, she chose to take action, but she underestimated Mi-hyun's abilities. In addition to her heightened senses, Mi-hyun's skills are also impressive. However, during the fight, Mi-hyun heard the cleaner's accomplices approaching, so she quickly took her down. After the cleaner got up, she found that Mi-hyun had already vanished. At that moment, another man from security arrived. The two verified each other's identities. She suspected Mi-hyun also came to search for the files, so she checked the surveillance footage with the man. There was no sign of Mi-hyun in the footage. Instead, one by one, the camera feeds were disappearing. It turned out that Mi-hyun, using a snowball to block the camera's view, arriving at the power distribution room, Mi-hyun pulled the power switch. That bitch. As the lights went out, the dangerous school was even more perilous. At the same time, two other abilities users broke into Choi Choo-won's office. He demanded they hand over the files immediately. Choi Choo-won used searching for files as an excuse. He picked up a weapon and was ready to resist. "I'm not a dog of North Korea. I am a teacher. Only teachers can view the students' files. Leave our school." "How dare you come in? Didn't you hear what the teacher said? If you take another step, I will break your ankle." It's not just Jang Ju-won was in crisis. Kong Hoon encountered a North Korean special abilities user. The gang Ki-soo was in the same situation. Everyone is currently facing North Korean special abilities users. Ki-soo was the first to be hit. Next, it was Kong Hoon. When Kong Hoon was on the phone with his mother, the opposing ability user has launched an attack. Kong Hoon. Honey, Kong Hoon. What's wrong? It seems something happened to Kong Hoon. Where is Kong Hoon? He is at school. But I heard his cries. Honey. The cleaning lady rushed to the power room and pulled the switch. Choi Choo-won heard Ki-soo's scream. Jang Ju-won blocked the ability user, buying him time. Meanwhile, Mi-hyun appeared again before the cleaning lady. After hearing that they wanted to eliminate all ability users, Mi-hyun stopped wasting words with the lady. You said you would eliminate everyone involved. Did you hear that? Does that include my son? On the other side, Bang-suk and Hee-soo also began to unite against the men. However, Bang-suk just got the full power. He was not a match for the man. Hee-soo can't be of much help. Bang-suk can only keep taking hits. Inside the school, Jang Ju-won kept beating the tall, strong man, but he didn't know he was also a psychic. Jang Ju-won's carelessness caused him to suffer. He laid on the ground, twitching. The short man searched Choi Tu-won's office, but failed to find the ability user files. The tall guy kept beating Jang Ju-won. He slowly approached Jang Ju-won. He told him the reason for today's situation. It's all that guy from South Korea's fault. Kim Do-sik was hurt by that guy. Kim Do-sik was hurt by that guy. Mi-hyun heard what the man said. At this moment, she called Bang-suk. However, Bang-suk left his phone outside. On one hand, it's about her son. On the other, it's about Kim Do-sik. Mi-hyun finally couldn't hold back and took action. The superpower clan is nearing its finale. Kim Do-sik's secret mission has finally come to light. Just as the North Korean superhuman pressured the homeroom teacher to hand over the files, Mi-hyun arrived and opened fire. The North Korean superhuman was injured. After several attacks of gunfire, the man kept mocking Mi-hyun. However, what he didn't expect was Mi-hyun's enhanced sensory skills, directly aimed at the faucet ahead, then using the faucet to ricochet the bullet. She almost hit him in the head. Just as he was about to check carefully, Mi-hyun had already appeared from the other side. The ability user was dead. The teacher hurriedly told Ki-soo to leave, but just as Ki-soo was about to leave, he heard a voice coming from inside. It turned out a female classmate sneaked into the school to get the camera's SD card. Unexpectedly, she happened to see such a scene. After dealing with Jang Ju-won, two men ran into Mi-hyun. Mi-hyun wanted to know the whereabouts of Kim Do-sik, but the man wanted to know what happened to his teammate. I killed two. The man described the scene he encountered Kim Do-sik. Back when Kim Do-sik was a key figure in the underworld, the deputy assigned him a secret mission. The mission was to assassinate the North Korean leader. At that time, Kim Do-sik, by himself, intruded into the North Korean headquarters. At that time, there were no superhumans in North. Kim Do-sik was the first they encountered. Kim Do-sik's fighting power exceeded everyone's imagination. With just himself, he defeated all the guards. Kim Do-sik, having a good heart, did not kill them. He simply rendered them incapable of fighting. As he approached the Supreme Leader's room, he encountered the man talking to Mi-hyun. He was desperately begging Kim Do-sik not to go in. Kim Do-sik didn't listen. After fiercely resisting, the man had a finger broken. However, what's strange is that, when Kim Do-sik came before the Supreme Leader, he did not shoot. Instead, he left. After this, the man was given an important mission to combat South Korean superhumans. North Korea desperately searched for superhumans within its territory. They even forced them to awaken their abilities quickly. Ignoring everyone's pleas, they forced them off the cliff. More than 10 men jumped down. Only 2 men survived. One of them is the superhuman dealing with Bang-suk. As in superhuman, he didn't want to be part of this conflict. He only wanted to feed his family. However, it was precisely because of his family. They threatened him using his wife and children. They forced him to participate. The timeline reaches the day when Kim Do-sik was captured. After Kim Do-sik was caught, the deputy ordered him to carry out another mission, just like before, go to the North Korean base for an assassination. Kim Do-sik initially refused the deputy, but the deputy threatened him with Mi-hyun and Bang-suk. Are you sure you've hidden them well? We found you the first time. The second won't be hard. Considering Mi-hyun and Bang-suk, Kim Do-sik had no choice but to go again. In this operation, after Kim Do-sik arrived at the destination, he was captured by the scarred man with flying abilities. The man with a severed finger also informed Kim Do-sik the reason he desperately pleaded at that time. Do you think you're being merciful? I clearly told you not to go in. What I want to say is, not just our leader, but also the people working here that day. My comrades, my superiors, and my subordinates. Were all shot dead. The timeline returns to the present. The scarred man mentioned Kim Do-sik in front of Bang-suk. Upon learning that his father was captured by the person before him, his combat power increased dramatically. The scarred man thought flight was Bang-suk's ability. However, what he didn't expect was, besides Kim Do-sik's flight ability, Bang-suk also inherited Mi-hyun's amazing senses. Just a moment, Bang-suk caught the scarred man's weakness. The situation turned instantly. He shouted for Hisu to help. Hisu got up, grabbed the helmet, and moved to the center. As Bang-suk flew towards her with the scarred man, she swung the helmet directly at him. At the same time, the still awakening Kong Hoon was beaten by another ability user without any power to resist. Mi-hyun called Jang Ju-won for help. Jang Ju-won has recovered now. He got up to meet Mi-hyun. At the same time, the fingerless man saw his two dead teammates. He took out his phone and made a call. Come up with sunglasses. The man he mentioned crawled slowly out of the car trunk and walked towards the school building. The battle of superpower clans is coming. A new wave of superhumans has emerged. Lee Jae-man was worried about Kong Hoon's safety. He then displayed incredible speed. He jumped between the buildings. He was being monitored by the security department, so the moment he ran out of their control, he was spotted by the authorities. Kong Hoon at school was no match for the North Korean superhumans, even if he inherited from his father Lee Jae-man's speed and strength. He, whose abilities aren't fully awakened, still faced defeat after defeat. The man with a severed finger heard a noise, and slowly approached the hiding spot of Kisu and the girl. Upon learning they were students, he instead said something like this: "You're just students." Right, right. Hide well here. The homeroom teacher rushed to save Kong Hoon, but it didn't help at all. It went from one person being beaten to two. The man lifted Kong Hoon high, forcing the homeroom teacher to reveal the file's location. Just as the teacher was about to speak, Lee Jae-man arrived. Seeing his son's condition, Lee Jae-man, who wasn't very smart, felt extremely anger, with blood filling his brain. You dare to hit our Kong Hoon. At the same time, the man fell, and the strong man approached slowly upon hearing. At this moment, Jang Ju-won appeared behind. The two began a turn-based game. They started close combat, exchanging punches. In the end, Jang Ju-won had the upper hand and knocked down the strong man. The immediate crisis was temporarily resolved. Through this incident, Kong Hoon, who was once indifferent to his father, finally felt his father's love. I don't want to be apart with you anymore. Okay. That's painful, right? This must be really painful. It's okay, Dad. Sorry, Dad came too late. I am sorry, son. Outside, the Jang Ju-won saw a man in glasses in the opposite building. The man slowly spreaded his arms and closed his hands instantly. A strong shockwave instantly emerged from his hands. A devastating force nearly destroyed a floor. Before anyone could catch their breath, the man spreaded his arms again. Jang Ju-won seized the opportunity to run to the building where the man was, but he couldn't get close. At the same time, the man with the severed finger called Scarface. After waking, Scarface raised his pistol, warning Bong Sook and Hee-soo not to follow. Bang Sook ignored him. Scarface instinctively fired his gun. Hee-soo used her body to shield him from the bullet. Hee-soo inherited the abilities of Jang Ju-won and was fine. Hee-soo let Bang Sook go first. She arrived shortly after. It was Bang Sook's first time flying high, and he was a bit clumsy. But soon he, flying like his father, Kim Do-sik, displayed astonishing flying speed. At school, Jang Ju-won tried to get closer to the sunglasses man again. Meanwhile, Lee Jae-man jumped from the opposite building. The sunglasses man was only skilled in long-range combat. In close combat, he was no match for Lee Jae-man. Lee Jae-man crippled one of his hands. The strong man who fell earlier has recovered. Jang Ju-won was forced to face the enemy again. Over here with Mi-hyun, stepping out of the school, she encountered the severely hurt North Korean power user beaten by Lee Jae-man. The man tried to resist but was shot dead by Mi-hyun. So far, Mi-hyun has killed 3 North Korean power users. On the other side, Gae-do encountered Hee-soo on the way to school. Seeing blood on Hee-soo, Gae-do changed direction towards the school. The battle at school has reached a climax. Lee Jae-man repeatedly swung his fists at the strong man. The sunglasses man struggled to rise. Seeing the strong man being beaten, he recalled a past scene. When the sunglasses man was being found, he lived in the basement for over 20 years. Years in a dark environment made him unable to face the light. Like Scarface, he didn't want to join the mission. Finally, the strong man approached him and offered encouragement. If it weren't for the strong man, he would still be living in a dark place all day. My name is Kwon Yond. Let's struggle to live together. Yond. Hold on to life. The man in sunglasses used his last bit of strength to hit the ground. 1/3 of the school collapsed instantly. Jang Ju-won was breached. He used all his strength to throw Lee Jae-man up. Hong Hoon, homeroom teacher, Hee-soo and the female student escaped a disaster. Seeing Lee Jae-man was fine, Jang Ju-won let him leave first. After finding Kong Hoon, he went home with him. However, just as Lee Jae-man left, Jang Ju-won faced strong enemies again. The finale of the superpower clan is coming. The Scarface pierced Jang Ju-won's eye. Mi-hyun arrived in time as he fired his second shot. At this moment, her enhanced senses gave no advantage. She was already targeted by the Scarface. At the moment he was about to pull the trigger, Bong-suk arrived. Mi-hyun saw her son join the fight. Her heart ached. She desperately wanted to rush to the balcony. At this moment, Gai-do drove the bus, also rushing into the school. Bang-suk saw Gai-do flying with Scarface straightly. In an instant, the bus overturned. Scarface was knocked away. On the other side, Jang Ju-won took out the bullet-hit eye and walked toward the battlefield. Scarface flew into the air again. He raised his gun at Bong-suk. At that moment, Mi-hyun also arrived. She aimed the gun at the man with the severed finger. Facing Mi-hyun, the man with the severed finger showed no fear. It was as if he was about to be free. Meanwhile, the man in sunglasses finally died. Before he died, he used his last breath to urge Yeon to keep on living. Yeon began to crawl up slowly, just like when he first awakened his powers. It's all to survive. At this moment, he cried like a child. Hee-soo accidentally bumped into him. Seeing him cry like that, Hee-soo thought she had hurt him. She kept trying to comfort him. You've lost a lot of blood. It must hurt. It's okay. The storyline returns to the battlefield. As both sides were deadlocked, Gai-do climbed out of the bus. He used the bus at a critical moment to energize himself. No. Lightning. Power. The scarred face lost an arm. The man with severed fingers knew he had family, so he urged him to get away from here. Now, he's the last remaining ability user. Before attacking this, a colleague once asked him a question. He answered like this at that time: if we get rid of the adults, how to do with those kids? Kids weren't part of the plan. They're just children. He gave up resisting. Then he jumped down to kill himself. But he was stopped by Jang Ju-won and Mi-hyun when the leader announced the action plan. Upon learning that all superhumans must be eliminated, he immediately expressed his opinion. He thought it was enough to just eliminate the killer, and no one else should be involved in this process. Too many innocent people were sacrificed. Can you stand by your words now? You know, just one word from me, and you could be a traitor. He can't refuse what his leader said. Yet, following the order, he went against his true self. That's why he chose to end his life to free himself. Perhaps for him, this also gave an explanation to his colleagues, who died because of Kim Ju-sik. The people are innocent. Those forced to sacrifice are the true guilty. The man was dead. Bang-suk carried Mi-hyun home. My son has grown up. Jang Ju-won also saw the arriving Hee-soo. My daughter has grown up well. After a while, the school held a graduation ceremony. Bang-suk did not attend. Although the teacher saved a spot for him, Jang Ju-won, who lost an eye, took graduation photos with Hee-soo. The teacher also handed over the students' files to Jang Ju-won. Hee-soo entered the classroom, looking around. She recalled moments spent with Bang-suk. After graduation, Kong-hoon approached the deputy, hoping his join can erase his father's past crimes. The deputy neither agreed nor refused. However, just as Kong-hoon was leaving, the biggest twist has come. The girl who was bullied and saved by Hee-soo actually spoke to the deputy in this tone. Min Yeon-jun, yes. Are you really this careless in your work? The principal once told Jang Ju-won, there isn't anyone he can't find after picking up the scent, so Jang Ju-won personally found him to destroy the function of his mouth and nose completely. In North Korea, The scar-faced man without arms found the leader. Faced with the leader's blame for the failed task, his reply was, "What does that mean?" After executing the leader, he found Kim Do-sik and released him who was locked up here. The first thing Kim Do-sik did was to find the deputy and shot him dead. Stupid guy. Do you believe what they said? I'm really worried about South Korea. You bastard. We are useless now. Mi-hyun and Jang Ju-won were living a stable life. Young got a job at Jang Ju-won Fried Chicken. He took the sunglasses guy's advice seriously, just like the encouragement to the sunglasses guy back then. He lived well and worked hard. Bang Suk became a hero in people's eyes. He roamed around, helping others. Finally, Kim Do-sik returned home. He met the grown-up Bang Seok and his wife, Mi-hyun. But the story doesn't end here. The hints for part 2 are here. Kim Do-sik's former colleague, the deputy's subordinate, is now in the position of deputy. Frank also showed up at a club. At the same time, he was declared missing by the organization. The organization also sent new members to carry out a mission. Get in touch with Elias.